good morning to folks, or I should technically say afternoon, because I know for certain it's afternoon. It's about 12:01 here on the West Coast, and it is about 3 o'clock over on the East Coast, where our friends from Atlanta are joining us. So hello to everyone over there and everyone in between, all across all the platforms that we're streaming on today, Facebook, to LinkedIn, and also to our friends on Twitter for Dancing Goats. Well, my name's Joshua. I work for Backdoor from Bronson Coffee Roasters and Dancing Goats Coffee Bars. I'm here in the lovely demo kitchen at the Point Ruston Public Market, which is where our newest cafe is. That's here in Tacoma. Ruston is right next to Tacoma, looking out over the water and the mountains. It's beautiful today. And you'll notice that I have a setup here which looks a little bit empty. And you would be correct in noticing that because my friend Crystal is going to be joining me, but what she is doing right now is something really special. I'll let you know. We're going to be drinking the Mexico El Triunfo today. This is the Café El Mujer, and this is a beautiful coffee that we've had for a while now. Our friends and customers who love every Mexico offering that we bring forward love this coffee. We love it as well. So we're gonna talk about that coffee today. And what she's doing right now is she is actually preparing some espresso, using it because it is our guest espresso here at the cafe at Point Ruston. So if you come visit us here 10 a.m. every morning and you walk up and ask for an espresso, you'll probably be asked if you have a preference. We always have our Dancing Goats blend as espresso at our cafes. And then we'll always have what we call a guest espresso, which is another separate grinder with a single origin coffee as opposed to a blend, which we're making as an espresso. And the staff dial it in along with our in-store trainers to get it to perform the way we want it to perform in the cup as espresso, whether that's espresso just as a demi-tasse, or as I'm going to have here in just a moment, as a macchiato. Oh, look at this coffee service right here to me. This is awesome. Everyone, would like you to say hello to Crystal. Hello. How are you doing today?
Good.
Oh, excellent. So, salud. So what am I drinking right now? I gave him a bit of a heads up.
Give him a heads up. Okay, so you're drinking our Mexico, the El Triunfo Café de Mujer. Yeah, it is. I pulled a single shot. So
It's nice in the cup.
yeah.
Yeah, especially as a
As
macchiato.
espresso, it's very like bright, buttery. Definitely a little bit different than drip, but really good.
Well, if we were to take a look at the coffee, when we discuss it, you know, that's we always have notes, tasting notes on the bag or on the coffee report, and the ones that we call out for this coffee are marmalade, and in this case, I have nougat, which is in a milk chocolate. You might notice the iconic triangular shape, right? I also have a little chocolate as well because I think that that chocolate quality is definitely present for this coffee.
I definitely get a lot of the chocolate in it. That's one of my favorite tastes that I get from this coffee. So I really like it. Any coffee that's like chocolate forward definitely sits well with me.
So you poured it as an espresso here, but I also know that we also brew it just as like a standard coffee preparation. We're going to get to try those both today, is that right?
Yeah. So we're trying out espresso now because I wanted you to try it. Because the notes, the tasting notes are slightly different. I think with the espresso, you're going to get like more of those buttery, like nougat flavors, and then with the drip coffee, you get more of the like chocolatey marmalade. Definitely.
It's always fascinating, you know, we talk a lot in coffee about how all the aspects that lead up to it coming to the cup affect it. And so we know that things like terroir affect it, where it's grown affects it, but also preparation affects it as well. So if we were to talk about how the terroir affects it and how the community that produces it affects it, what would we be talking about with this specific coffee?
So apart from I just really like this coffee. I think like out of all the coffees that we have right now, this one is like my top favorite coffee. I drink it every single day. I brew it all kinds of different ways. But I really also like the production side of this coffee. It is, there's 18 women producers that produce this coffee, and I love that we bought from a woman-led group with this coffee. I think that that's really, really cool and exciting.
It's great because the region it comes from, Chiapas, is obviously has many cooperatives involved in all aspects of business that occurs in the state of Chiapas in Mexico. But this particular group of over 300 or 600 families, 600 members, has 200 of them are in fact women. And then you reference, this particular small lot of coffee is the responsibility of 18 of those women producers.
Yeah, and I think that's really exciting for like us. And I know like my staff are really excited about that too. And I know like a lot of our retail staff just like love that in itself. Another reason that I really, really appreciate this coffee is just the fact that like it, well, I guess we'll get into food for farmers in a minute, but that part of it is really, really important too.
Yeah.
So I really like that.
So, do you want to talk about food for farmers now, or do you want to do it while you're brewing? I don't want to interrupt you while you're brewing, right?
Yeah. I mean, there's lots of things to talk about while I'm brewing, so we can talk about it now. Go ahead.
Yeah. So Food for Farmers is an organization that we have a relationship with, and I'll actually, I'll show you here. I've already shared a link with you to get the copy if you'd like from our website. But I do want to scoot over for a minute over to the Food for Farmers website and just introduce you to them. Now you know that Bob and I actually had an opportunity to interview the executive director of Food for Farmers last year, and it was great because in that at that time, you can go back and look it up if you want. You can look at the whole interview. I just wanted to paste this over here for you. But what we got to learn about the relationship is that, I don't know what, there we are. I'll send this link out to everybody. So there's Food for Farmers link. The relationship is unique because this is what we might call an NGO that works directly with farming groups. And it's really easy for us to kind of sit here and talk about what we think is important, but they're working directly with the actual people who are producing, and it's led in that way, right?
Right, yeah, and I think that that's something that I think is really cool about Food for Farmers is that they go in and they're like, hey, like, what do you need? And they like fully understand that every community has different needs and different challenges. So like whether it be like food or water or like maybe they need healthy soil, like whatever it is, like they find out from those communities and those families, and then that's what they help them with. And I think that that's really, really cool.
Yeah,
for sure.
Having it be led by the community is really a way that we're trying to draw folks closer to producers, right? We talk a lot about how the coffee is in the cup and how you can have it as an espresso or as a pour over, but we also want to always be talking about the folks that we're working with when we buy coffee from them. In this case, fair trade, organic coffee, but also working with Food for Farmers, we're ensuring that a portion of the purchases that you make when you buy the coffee get returned back into the community for the things that group of people think are important. Not what we think are important, but what they think is important for their livelihood and for the sustainability of how they're continuing to work with agriculture. So it's amazing. The honey, you remember?
Oh yeah, the honey production. So so right now we are partnering with Food for Farmers, and we are raising additional funds to help create these like projects that they do, whether it's like a vegetable garden or the honey production, and that goes directly to the funds that are raised for that go directly directly to the co-op members, and it's per bag. So every bag that's purchased, we donate $1 to them. So that's really awesome.
I do want to jump over here again. Make sure you see the link to Food for Farmers. Now, obviously, I would love for you to come and buy some coffee from us and make a contribution that way, but I also want to advocate that you go directly to them, and if you'll see right up here on their website, you can support them, you can support their work right here. You can donate directly right there, okay? So, I mean, this is, you know, a partnership. We want them to do well so that our farmer community partners do well as well. So, it'd be great to enjoy some coffee while you do that, but also you can go directly to them.
You can get some delicious coffee from us
Yeah.
and enjoy the coffee, but it definitely it means a lot more to our farmers. And also, what's really cool about Food for Farmers is that like they're not just in Mexico; they actually like are continue to help farms all over Latin America. So like that's really awesome too. And you can read all about it on their website. It's very easy to navigate, really easy to comprehend.
Yeah, we're lucky here that we get to, part of working at Backdorf, we get to make voluntary elections to nonprofits. This is one of them. It just, I get to check a box, and it's a whole little bit of a donation out of my paychecks, and so it's really easy for me to support them. But I want to advocate that you do as well, not just by buying this coffee, but checking out what they're doing all over. They're a great organization. We're very, very proud to be able to work with them and to try and draw our communities closer together through what we both love, which in this case is coffee. Let's talk about this coffee in the cup. So we've had an espresso now. What else do you want to do with it?
I'm going to do a pour over for you, so you can taste it as a pour over. How did you like the?
It is brighter for sure when you said that, right? It definitely comes out with the citrus quality, or even like an orange rind, which is now I can see why the marmalade is, because we talk about all our different flavor profile aspects when we're tasting coffee and when we're smelling coffee, and orange comes up, citrus comes up, but that's very different than saying marmalade.
Right.
Because marmalade, absolutely, if you've had marmalade, right? You can even see when you look at it, you can see the actual orange peel that is actually right in the marmalade. You can taste that rind in the marmalade, and that's why for some people it's not exactly what they want on their toast. I love it because it is just that little bit of acerbic quality in the palate. So do-si-do, so you can go over to. All right, so you have some water ready here.
Yeah, so I chose the Kalita wave because I love the Kalita wave. I use it all the time. We have tons of different manual brew methods that you can come into our stores, and any of our staff can demo them for you if you're unsure of how to use them.
So what's the first thing you did there? I just want to make sure we capture that.
So the first thing I did was I rinsed the filter, and that's really important. And then the other really important thing that I like to highlight when I am brewing coffee and showing people how to brew coffee is that you're using filtered water. That's a big part.
Crystal, what if I don't have a water filter under my sink? What should I do?
Man, I don't know.
Maybe a Brita. A Brita would probably be a good choice.
Yeah, Britas. I'm a little indifferent to Britas, honestly. Personally, I haven't had great experiences with Britas, but if that's what you have, then I would definitely recommend using that over using non-filtered water. Another thing that's really important is the temperature of the water. So we heat it up to 205 degrees, so it'll drop a little bit, but you definitely want to keep it close to that 200. And then the ratio that we're going to use today is a 1:14 ratio. And I pre-ground the coffee before I come up here, so it's all ready to go for the Kalita. And grind size is also really important, depending on what method you're using.
grind size is a component of the amount of time that the water sits in the bed and in the slurry.
Right. So with this, it's going to go through like pretty quickly. So, within 3 minutes, it's not going to sit like with the French press or a clever dripper. It's going to sit a little bit longer. So, alrighty. I guess I didn't bring a timer, so I use my
That's all
phone.
right. As everyone here knows, I always forget my timer.
I can't believe that's the one thing I forgot. Alright. Here I go. And then, I'm just going to start and pour a little bit of coffee in, about 60 grams, or a little bit of water in. About 60 grams of water.
And folks, you'll know if you've watched these videos before that what we're doing here is blooming the coffee, allowing it to become saturated with water, and so that so all the coffee grounds are in the same state, or as close to the same state when we begin the actual extraction. So the water is being evenly used, the heat is being evenly used, and then the water is percolating, moving down through the coffee bed at the same rate. So it's not encountering any dry spaces or undersaturated areas, so that it moves through, and that slurry allows everything to kind of occur evenly. Did I describe that correctly?
Yeah. You did. Yeah, I will be honest, I do brew the Mexico every day. I have it at home, but I don't do pour-overs every day, so I haven't done this in a while.
Why do you like the Colita as opposed to, or do you have a preference?
I like the clever dripper a lot, which we also have. That one's really great and easy to use. We should do another video about that one. But the Colita Wave is, you get like a really clean, crisp cup of coffee out of it, and I really enjoy that about it. I also really do love pour-overs, and with the Colita Wave, there's so many recipes you can do. This one that I'm doing, I found online somewhere random, and then I actually tried a bunch of different recipes, and then ended up liking this one the best.
Yeah.
So
I'd like to highlight that. I mean, I think it's important. We talk a lot about about recipes. When we have them on our YouTube site, or you can see them obviously on our Facebook pages, and we produce some tutorials as well, right? And absolutely, those are great directions to take as we're learning how to do hand brewing at home, and that should also not keep you from going out and scouring the web for other recipes, other ways to do things. I mean, I think it's just, if you're starting with good coffee, which our farmers produced here, and which we roasted well, and which you ordered fresh, right? And you're grinding fresh, then there's lots of room to learn about, how to brew your coffee at home. And there's no right way, perfect way, right? So it's experimentation. And the great thing is, again, starting with good coffee and some fundamentals, the worst that can happen is you're going to have a good cup of coffee. And maybe it won't be that great cup of coffee, but it's still going to be a good cup of coffee. And you're learning as you go.
right, and I think what's really cool too is you can go to our website, and all of our brewing guides are on our website. So when you're just starting off manual brewing, you can go there and see all of our guidance, which is really awesome, I think. And then you can come into our stores and learn from us. And it's really, what's fun about manual brewing is everyone does it a little bit differently, which I think is really cool. Not everyone does it exactly the same, so I think that's really fun too. You can try different ways. Your coffee will taste different, and then you find the way that you like the best.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important. Is how it tastes the best to you, and not just
Yeah. We'd love to work with you and get you started. And again, like Crystal says, come into the stores. Point Ruston's a great store to come into, but you can come into any of our stores here or in the Atlanta area. And staff love, if you haven't figured it out yet, love talking about coffee.
Yeah, staff love talking about coffee. This is, the Mexico is a staff favorite. We look forward to the Mexico. We love the Mexico.
Awesome. Great spots here. All right. Okay, now we have it as the lovely. Oh, salud. Oh yeah, that's tasty.
Yeah, it's good.
Still a lot, but
Yeah, it's very hot.
yeah. The nuttiness and the chocolate quality is much more present, right, in this preparation. So
Yeah.
right, fun.
Yeah.
Well, this has been fun. Have you enjoyed yourself?
Yeah.
You want to do it again?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Come back, do a different coffee. Do another coffee.
send in your notes as you watch this.
Yeah, let us know if you have any questions. Let us know what you want to see. That's what we want to know.
So I know Bob will come in and we'll do the Bolivian pea berry, which is
Okay.
coming, right? We have it. So we're working with the farmers we've worked with for years now, several years, out of Bolivia. But in this case, it's going to be a pea berry coffee, so that'll be
Which I've had and it's delicious. So
so
good.
he'll come in and we'll do a cupping with that, and then maybe the next week you can come in and we'll do another little espresso and methodology.
The next espresso we'll have will be the Sierra de Fuego,
Okay.
and so we'll have that on our.
Costa Rica.
We'll have that in the next couple of weeks as our single origin. So maybe we'll
Awesome.
do that.
I have some photos from when I was down there that I
cool.
can share with you.
Yeah.
So, awesome. All right. Hey, folks, thank you so much for joining us today. We're going to play you out with some awesome jazz, cafe sounds and jazz music. Be sure to tune in the morning on Friday for Ben. He does his coffee workshop, and then we'll see you here in this same space next week at noon. Bye-bye.